All right, so transversing realities. You know what I'm saying? Um, your reality is based on your subconscious mind and based on your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Your beliefs dictate your reality. Your beliefs are connected to your subconscious mind. All right? You have been constantly given lies about yourself that has put your mind. I don't like that. I don't like that I'm doing that. I don't. All right. You have constantly been given lies that has put your mind in a false reality. Starting on the most basic mundane levels with how you look. We are watching the TV and not even seeing real people and real bodies. So we don't even know what's real anymore. But you are being programmed to compare yourself to people on the TV. And everybody always want to talk about the women with the fake bodies. But niggas don't talk enough about the niggas who take millions of supplements. The niggas who take who be on steroids. The niggas who get the same surgeries that the women be doing. All of that. You know what I'm saying? And also be putting up this fake image. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really always exist, or you shouldn't necessarily be comparing yourself to. You know what I'm saying? Um, what you call it? Starting on that basic level, that has your mind and your life, and have you living in a false, fucked up reality. Because then you'll be thinking you too skinny, you too overweight, your lips too big, the lips too small, your nose too big, your nose too small, your hair is nappy, you know. These are things that really do be affecting us, you know what I'm saying? And they're valid things, as mundane as they are. And I'm not trying to invalidate what you may be going through or may have gone through. What I'm trying to do is what I'm trying to do is paint the picture that if these are the mundane things and they have you in a false fucked up reality, then imagine the serious things, the serious lies. You know what I'm saying? When you grow to love yourself is when you start to realize these things ain't true. Me personally, one of the, like, again, one of the things I'm working on in my shadow work is falling in love with actually having Jamaican heritage. You know what I'm saying? And one of the cool things about being Jamaican is that all the typical stereotypes about bodies and stuff that's like in America is like in reverse down there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fatter you are, the more attractive you are. Or at least that's how it was. Let me not speak because I'm not as cultured as I was, but my family and stuff still tell me, like, ain't no woman gonna want you because you just skinny and nothing and worthless, and just that's how they be talking about you, like you just look hungry and deformed, and you need to eat another piece of chicken. You know what I'm saying? We all have these stories. I'm not trying to say they're they do be harmful, but I'm not trying to say they're like, I'm not trying to attack them right now. I'm just trying to show that it's in reverse. So that having that example of them being reversed is like, I don't have to look at certain things that's like normalized over here, or have to look at the world through that view. I don't have to look at the world through that view, I should say. Like when I was overweight, people be asking me like, "Oh, was that making you nervous to like talk to women, or like you didn't have no girlfriend or nothing because you was fat?" And I would be so confused, and I'm just like, there's a whole market of women attracted to bigger men and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't live in a reality where women were not attracted to men who were larger size. So that never stopped me from having a girlfriend, or at least having a girl that I'm talking to. Not in a player type of way, but some men or people may have it in their mind that they have a certain undesirable body type or have certain undesirable traits, and that puts them in a that your mind subconsciously, okay. So when you start to think that, that's lined up with how you subconsciously acted. So because you feel that way, you start acting in a way where nobody wants you. You know what I'm saying? Because you think that way, you feel that way, you start acting in that way. You know what I'm saying? So now you really do put yourself in that reality based on your actions. You acted like nobody wants you. You acted like, and when people start to come around, you may even push them away. because you swear in your mind that nobody wants you for whatever undesirable trait, but that is a false reality. That is like a matrix that you have put yourself in. That's not even real. Yo, our thing with body types, and like I said, I'm about to get to some other shit, but this is mundane, but it really does affect us. Our things with body types is so unnatural. How we view this when we're the only people in the world. In other cultures, they'll be big and they get slim. Like the men will be big and get slim to try to get a woman, or for something in their culture. Or they'll be slim and then they get fat because the fattest nigga is gonna get the bride or something. I'll be watching all different types of shit on Indigenous people. And when you see that, or you'll just see people and they'll be comfortable. You'll see some women and it's like they titties just like way down here because you could tell they never ever wore no bra nothing before. And they just comfortable. They got like 5 kids. So obviously someone is having sexual attraction to them, you know. And they just walking around cool. You know, no one ever told them that was unattractive. No one ever put the stereotype that having a certain kind of breast was attractive versus having a certain type of breast was not. So they don't live in a reality where that is unattractive because no one ever put that in their mind, so they don't think like that. So it's not in their reality. Let me keep using examples for you on the mundane level. I had a neighbor, right, who came from St. Lucia. He was like I had a friend who lived in the building. It was like his cousin. This nigga was like a wife beater. Like you could tell he'll get some new wife beaters, but he was like a wife beater, 3 jeans, 2 sneakers kind of nigga. Just came to America. If you from somewhere else, or like if you move from the south to the north, or you just make a big migration, but especially if you come from another country, I know you can relate to this. Like when you just coming over here and you getting yourself together. I didn't experience that personally, obviously, because I was born here, but I seen that with a lot of my family members. And some of them started down and they did get pretty up. So he came over here and he got his little job. He's a wife beater, 2 3 jeans, 2 sneakers nigga. So you know he has a rotation with his fits, but due to the way mathematics work and stuff like that, you know you're gonna see him in the same fit, especially because he wears a lot of wife beaters. You're gonna see him in the same fit, or he only wears wife beaters when he's not at work. You're gonna see him in the same fit periodically a lot, you know what I'm saying? So he bagged a woman. I don't remember if she had a kid or if they had their first kid together, but he bagged a woman that was like, she got, you ever heard that song by Neo, She Got Her Own? Go listen to that if you never heard it. He bagged her on some shit like that, you know, you know what I'm saying? He bagged her on some like, you know how they be having the stereotypes that niggas think like, you know, women always want a nigga with money. And I'm not saying that some don't or some shouldn't. I suggest you want a nigga with money too. Or like if they're like gold diggers, like every woman is a gold digger or something, you know. He clearly broke that stereotype because she had like a brand new Benz. She had a great job. I think she owned her own business too. She like owned an apartment complex, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember if she had a kid, but I know they had a kid, you know. And he got with her, and next thing you know, it's like he moves out and they get a house. Next thing you know, it's like I'm running into him again. I'm a little older. It's like he got his own Benz now. You know what I'm saying? He telling me they live in a nice house in a nice area, you know. And most niggas who probably live locally may even look similar to him, have the same features that attracted her on a physical level. You know what I'm saying? They may not have been able to have that interaction just based on the thought that all women want gold diggers. So they may not even approach her, just being intimidated by how bossed up she is. But him, as an indigenous man, as a nigga from St. Lucia, you know what I'm saying? Coming from a world where you could go to the dance hall or go to the soca party or whatever it is with your no shirt and some shorts and some flip flops and just dance and whine and be the nigga and be the same, like the equivalent to the nigga up here with Cardis and stuff. I'm not saying people down there aren't materialistic too, but You really don't need that shit to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still being programmed to want Jordans and shit. Because remember, I be saying Jordans just came out. They just became a thing in 1985. So they're still catching up to being programmed to wanting that stuff. It's a lot more prevalent now. But when I was a kid, you could go to see your family. And even if they live in a nice house or whatever, they only be wearing like the same couple gowns, the same couple outfits or whatever. Real like short shorts, like flip flops. Just walk around barefoot because that's what indigenous people do. That's what people do in these areas. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is because he never had in his mind that I'm a wife beater and 2 jeans and 2 sneakers nigga. So because I'm not where I'm supposed to be financially right now, I should limit myself and date within a certain standard, or not date, or not put myself out there, and not approach certain women, or not put my best foot forward. Because he never had that in his mind, because he doesn't come from a world where that matters. Like, yeah, if he was pushing the Benz down there, he probably would be that nigga. But he was probably that nigga without it. But that's what I'm saying. He comes from a world where he was probably that nigga, and he didn't have any of that. So in his world, in his mind, he is still that nigga without any of that. So he doesn't need it, and he still ended up with it because he he already was that nigga. So basically, his life just reflected it. He felt like he was that nigga on the inside. So he was in a reality where his life had to show that, and it does. I literally witnessed it. He went from that to, you know, whatever the hot fashion of the time is. He's just on that now. You know what I'm saying? He's just sweatsuit. You could tell that she probably got him right. She is a more American, so she got him in like sweatsuits and shit, but and more than wife beaters and jeans. But he, you know, the nigga is fly and shit now. You know, so all because he never had that in his reality. He already felt fly when he just had 2 pairs of sneakers, and because he already felt fly, he lives in a universe. He put his mind in a reality where he's fly. So now he got like 100 pair of sneakers, and he didn't even do anything. He just felt fly. You could see it in his actions. You could see it in the woman that he bagged. You could see it in the family that he started. He felt fly, so he ended up with a fly family. Son, are you peeping how this shit works? And that's in a positive way. That was actually a positive example. You know, we still got to get to some negative shit. Why we got to get to negative shit? Because we not living in our ideal realities. If we was, we would all be chilling, but we not. And even when we chilling, when someone else out there don't got it as good, you can't really say that's an ideal reality. Let's be honest. You know, we can still strive to be our best people, so we could be motivation for others, and that's all that we really can do, and help where we can. But you know, in the back of your mind, you still gonna kind of feel it for the next nigga. So come on now. Let's talk about some other stuff you believe. You know what I'm saying? When we kids, okay, so another thing with manifesting, they tell you it's all about your imagination. And we have been using our imagination against ourselves because of school and TV. You know what I'm saying? We're programmed to wait for the next like big boom, the next 9/11, the next bad thing is happening. You know what I'm saying? We're always waiting for the worst. We're waiting for Jesus to come back. We're waiting for the rapture. We're just waiting for something bad to happen. We're always waiting for something bad to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is all we think about. So again, what you think. So what kind of reality do you think that puts you in? Why do you think that might make you more susceptible to, let's say, having like a car accident and a speeding ticket in the same month? Because you think something bad is about to happen. Because you think that's what you're worthy of, you know what I'm saying? Because you already kind of living in the vibration of a victim, so your life got to reflect that. Do you understand? Like, all right, when you are in school and shit, I don't even know if I'm gonna touch on the religious stuff, because you could go all day on that, and it's like, I'm not even in the combative shit. I'm in the really pointing out behavior and trying to correct it shit. You know what I'm saying? That's where my intentions are. So when you are in the the when you are in school, right? Especially when your family is not from the place or from the places that you're learning about. You know, most of the time you're in school, you're learning about European history. You know, a lot of people are afraid to say it. I'm not. You know, most of that stuff is fabricated, made up, or not 100% the truth. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know, if you want to stay in your fake reality, if you don't vibe with that, that's cool. Just take what you can from this video, or maybe this video ain't from you. What I'm saying, but most of that stuff is just not true. You know what I'm saying? Or the faces don't always line up to the culprits. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say that. But we believe it nonetheless. And let's say even if it was true, but it's not, because we're about to get into that. You know, we're about to pull up some receipts. Let's say even if it was true. Another thing that might sound crazy, because we always be hit with these words like we and our. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're not cousins. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how it's our. Like niggas be like our ancestors. How is it our? You are not my cousin. When niggas be like this family shit. Yes, I know what you're talking about. We spiritually, we all one. You know what I'm saying? We all come from the one source. You know, and when you start to go back in ancestry farther enough, yeah, we all gonna be coming from one nigga who decided to have like 15 to 20 wives. If you want to be serious about it, yeah, that is a possibility too. But I'm talking about in the now, because that shit is also very important. For health reasons and a whole bunch of other shit, culture wise. There's like reasons why you would do certain shit in your tribe, and that's a whole other shit. But not to get too off track. Yeah, whatever with the family shit. That's that you have to realize is not how the world worked at any point in time. It worked on some like, I have a video coming soon that like we live in a drug dealer movie. You know what I'm saying? And that will make more sense. So stay tuned for that one. Or if you're watching this late, watch that one right after this one to kind of make sense of what I'm saying as well. So you have to get personal with your history. Because when we in school and we learning about the lynchings in Mississippi, what you have to realize is your grandma or great-grandma may have never went to school before. So they never learned about the United States or any of that, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they really country. I'm talking about if you're a foreigner. Just using this as an example. So you may be able to paint that back to some of your life. So when you're like, okay, so when your family member is like a foreigner, right? Depending on how far back you go, and you don't even have to go that far back. They may not have ever went to school. So like they may not even know that a place called Mississippi exists. It may not even be in their reality. Like they really may not be conscious of it. So to them, it doesn't exist because no one's ever told them about it. So you may be in school using your imagination against yourself to imagine ancestors from Mississippi getting lynched when your living ancestors and ones who have probably recently passed away may not even know that place exists. It may not even exist in their reality. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, some people don't even, like, you ever watch those viral videos where they be going up to people on the street and it be like, yo, like, do you know what the Puerto Rican flag is out of these 3 flags? And niggas be like, and they'll be so clueless to that. And they might even be Caribbean. They might even be Latin American and still be like oblivious to that because it's just like something they never seen before. You'll be shocked. Like, damn, I thought this was common knowledge. No, it's common knowledge to you because it's something that's a part of your reality. You might have grown up around people who were of that nationality. So seeing that flag going over and over, it's something that's a part of your reality. To someone who's never seen it before, they don't know what the fuck that is. They don't know who the fuck that is. All right? So you may be believing and putting yourself in a reality based on some shit that really has just never happened for you. I'm not saying it never happened, but it may have never happened for you. It also may have never happened. Um, so you are using your imagination, because I've done this many times. You learning about what happened in Georgia and in Jamestown and in Mississippi and Alabama and sundown towns and all of this, and you learning about that, and you like, damn, the ancestors was going through it, and you don't even realize that, like, my grandma was in Jamaica, so it's like all of that was going on really like never happened to us particularly. I don't know what happened to us. I have to go do the story. I know now, but I'm saying, like, looking back on it, I don't know what happened to us. I need to go figure that out. So it's like I take myself out of that reality. Am I saying that didn't happen? I don't know if it happened. In general, some of those stuff like lynchings and stuff is actually documented, like Emmett Till. So it obviously happened, but it didn't happen to anyone in my family. So I have to exit a reality where my ancestors were getting lynched because my ancestors aren't from the places where I was learning about this stuff. I would be going up to my mom when I was first getting interested in ancestors and information and stuff. She was like, "You don't know about Nanny? You don't know about that? Don't you know you related to those people? Don't you know like this?" I'm like, "How the fuck I'm gonna know this if ain't nobody teaching me?" You think they teach you about Jamaican shit in school? They don't even teach you about Black history in school. You know what I'm saying? Black American history. So how the fuck they gonna be teaching us about Jamaica? Y'all supposed to be teaching us, but now when I start learning more about Jamaican history, it's like that starts to put other things in my reality. Because when I was first getting into this information, I was entering a reality where my ancestors only ate, were vegan. Because someone was telling me that I was from Africa, and based on this conscious information, like, we from Africa, they took us, we lost our diet, we lost all our ways, all our practices, and we just adopted their own. So I was living in a reality where that was true, and my ancestors were vegan. Even though I have documented proof with my own two eyes, and proof of what I've been told, that my ancestors clearly eat meat and have been eating meat for generations. You know what I'm saying? I put myself in a false reality, and I'm talking about basic shit here. I'm not even getting too crazy with it yet. This is some basic mundane shit that will have you in a fake ass reality where shit is fucked up for you. What do you mean by that? You know that question that they be asking us, where it be like, yo, would you want to travel like 50 years or 100 years into the future or into the past? And Black people are always like, I think I want to go in the future because the past was rough for me. That's because we live in a reality based on what we've been told happened to us generally, when most of us don't know. Some people can trace and be like, my ancestor was kidnapped, or my ancestor was a slave, or my ancestor wasn't a slave. I'm in like a little community where people post that type of stuff all the time, and we have those type of conversations all the time. You know what I'm saying? And we, what you call it? The point is not to say like these things never ever happened. The point is that they may have never ever happened to you. They may have never ever happened to your family. So you're living in a reality and basing your actions, and I've talked about this before, you could be working a job and allowing abusive treatment, or just allowing abuse in your life in general, because you always subconsciously revert your comparison in life to slavery. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know that 100 years ago your ancestor might have owned like a farm or something. So if you went back 100 years in time, y'all would have been chilling. And you think like, it's like, oh, well, what do? We just work the farm. And it's like, what do we do after that? We just chill. It's like, oh, that's it? It's like, yeah. It's like, you just live in Jamaica. So So if I want to travel to the beach, I just gotta navigate my way there. If I want to do this, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you just work the farm, you just chill. It's like, oh wow, that's great. And a lot of people have these stories. A lot of people know they have these stories, but because they, go to school and shit, we still end up with the false reality. You know, um, you take yourself out of that reality and take yourself in the reality of 100 years ago you was chilling, and now you start basing your subconscious thoughts based on that, right? So now you start looking at life like, shit, if 100 years ago I was chilling, then I need to be chilling right now. I don't know what the fuck they got me doing. I don't know how the fuck I'm doing this stressful ass whatever I'm doing. Even if it's running your own business, I need to put myself in a place of chilling. And just having thoughts like that can put you on the path to start using magnetism instead of just pure will. You know what I'm saying? You could just be like, yo, how can I just be making money and chilling like how they was? You know what I'm saying? Even if you can't replicate it exactly, even if you're not about to get a farm, what you basically did was raise your vibration. You started loving yourself a little more just by changing that thought a little bit. And now you want to get paid more or the same for doing less work because you value yourself more. Now you might approach a relationship or something differently because now you live in a reality where you come from greatness, or you come from people with pride, or you come from people who was doing good or something. So now you look at it as like, shit, well, I got to keep that going on. But if you come from people who had their foot in their ass, it's going to be easier for you to accept the role of having a foot in your ass. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So the way you can start to jump realities, transverse realities, is to just start having different thoughts and start putting different things in your mind. You know what I'm saying? When I was first getting into this, I was big on history. I was big on that because I was once I found out that we had connections to people outside of the people from West Africa, because I'm not denouncing our connections to those people. Don't get me wrong. Don't ever take that for what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's more to the story. And the story that we're getting is made up. And so when I was first getting into this, I talk about all the time, when you go back to Ghana, whatever, you want to connect with those people, connect with your so-called ancestors. But I forgot what I was about to say. I forgot what the fuck I was saying, but I think I was saying I'm not denouncing our connection or nothing, but if you start to identify yourself to this land, you don't even know how just having that identification internally, not even needing to get a tribal card, not even needing to join any type of particular, not even trying to join any particular organization, just identifying it internally, you start to reap the benefits of that. Because if someone had a connection to this land, if someone had, if this was their house, then you would reap the rewards just naturally because it's your house. And it's really as simple as that. It's like more doors, more opportunities would open up to you. You would naturally be open to them more because you'd be like, I'm home. You know what I'm saying? You would be more comfortable here. We have it so fucked up in our minds. Somehow we have it so fucked up in our minds. We associate the word American with the color, with the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? And how the fuck does that happen when they say the Native Americans was the Americans? But we'll be in a certain place and be like, this is a white place, or this is the white thing, or whatever like that. But it's like, bro, they claim that this isn't our land, but this also isn't their land. And because of that, it's like you feel like you don't have no opportunities here. You've been made to feel that way. And we've also been somewhat having that experiences, but not everybody. That's also important. Some niggas have been living it up, and generations are living it up. And when you don't have that in your mind, it's harder for you to put that in your reality. So niggas is talking about generational wealth, and we don't even know that some niggas have been doing that. And it may not necessarily have been millions of dollars, but their parents have been paving the way for the next generation to buy their own home or to go to college or whatever. And that's more than the average motherfucker could do. You know what I'm saying? Their parents have been helping them with the bills, helping them move out, helping them do certain shit. It's that's more than the average parent can do. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised. That's also something you gotta take out your mind, that everybody's in this perpetual struggle. Some niggas is living it up. And once you start believing that, if you can accept that, you be like, shit. Well, if other niggas is living up, then I'm a nigga too. Why can't I live it up? And it's really shit as simple as that really starts to just put you like you walking through a portal. You know what I'm saying? You know, like it's simple shit like that. It's not that simple because we've been getting years of indoctrination. But you have to, the way, what your motivation has to be is you looking at the reality you live in now. Are you satisfied? Do you like what you have? Do you like what the dice, do you like what you getting? Do you like what you manifesting into your life? Even if you like it, do you not want more? Do you not want a better one? This is the shit that jump you into a whole different reality, as well as working on yourself, as well as dealing with your spirituality and spiritual tools. When you mix all of those together, you turn into a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Do a part 2 to this because I did most of this off the dome. So I want to watch this, put this one out, and then really sit and like talk about jumping from reality to reality. I have jumped so many realities just in the last year. You know what I'm saying? Based on things I've thought about myself, based on things I've had to denormalize, based on whatever. Sometimes you jump into a reality where shit is fucked up because you take the band-aid off and be like, oh shit. Or you open up the door that's been closed and you be like, oh shit, it's fucked up over there. You know what I'm saying? But I have jumped reality so much, and all it really took was being open to learning new information. You know what I'm saying? And from a kid, I kind of knew like a lot of this shit was bullshit. But once I see the benefits of what believing and changing my outlook on this stuff does for me, and then once I realized that, you know, everyone's kind of still telling the truth even when they tell a lie, and that's a whole crazy phenomenon in itself that I can't explain right now. You realize that, you know, it's easy to let go of the lie because even when you're coming into the truth, you're not really straying too far from it. And that's kind of weird. But what do I mean by that? It's like some niggas say that we was the Egyptians. Some niggas say we was the West Africans. Some niggas say that we were the indigenous people of America. And some people say that America is in the first Egypt was originally in America. You know what I'm saying? And how could all those things be right? Well, the people, there's a CNN special that they recently put out of the Ewe people of Ghana. I hope I said that right. Or is it EWE? I think it's EWE, of people in Ghana. And they were talking about how they migrated from East Africa over to West Africa, specifically from Israel and like Egypt and shit. You know, them same biblical stories. They made that migration. And they say that we descend from those people. You know what I'm saying? So we would technically be that, right? We would be those people that everyone keeps claiming to be, that Hebrew, that Egyptian, whatever. So you could say you're right there. All right. Regardless of who of the debate of who the so-called Indians were, there's evidence showing that they have a connection to Egyptians because they find a lot of Egyptian shit over here, and they find American shit over in Egypt, like mummies having cocaine. Wait for my video about this place being a gangster movie. Mummies having cocaine residue in their brain because they was either sniffing, smoking, or doing something with coke, which you could only get over here. So niggas going back and forth for coke. What does that sound like? Who does that sound like? So yeah, there's definitely an American and Egyptian connection, because some of these places like Cairo, Illinois is older than the Cairo, Egypt over there. Some of these places like Memphis, Tennessee. See, look how I fucked up. Memphis, Tennessee, it'd be crazy because it's like Memphis, Tennessee has been here before that what is it in Memphis? It's not Memphis, Tennessee. It's a place in Memphis. I forgot. I'm gonna pull it up because my mind is drawing a blank. Been drinking. Um, my mind is drawing a blank of where that particular thing is. I want to say it's like Memphis, Egypt, or something like that. Whatever it might be, but they said the indigenous people of the land named it that place. They even have niggas, whatever company or places out there, even built a pyramid out that motherfucker because them niggas know what time it is. And a lot of the Mayan, Incan, Olmec shit matches up hieroglyphic wise or just artifacts and stuff they find with the shit over in Egypt. So if people are claiming to be any of these people, you can say that all these niggas was having a connection or they're all similar or somewhat the same people. Just in kind of how I was breaking that down, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody is right in that scenario. Everybody is right when you look at it like that. And that's how I'm going to end it off because I'm going to come back next time we're actually doing notes and actually kind of delivering this a little better. But I hope that it makes sense because I only use mundane examples. But there's so much examples that you could use. And the next time I definitely want to go harder on some of the other things, some of the other lies we've been made to believe. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird to think when you really start getting into multiverse and all of that. And it's like a nigga who's standing right next to you might be in a whole different multiverse because of the things that they think. They in a multiverse where you might be in a multiverse where you insecure about being dark skinned, and they in a multiverse where being dark skinned is like the hot shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really crazy like that, and we standing right next to each other, and that's showing and proving in our actions. But it's like you acting a little awkward, and that motherfucker is like, hey, I'm out here. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Just standing there looking. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how I can show this on camera. I'm probably gonna put it in a picture, but they just standing there like, yo, I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And y'all standing right next to each other with two different mindsets about the same thing that has y'all in two different realities. So now the nigga who feels like he's that nigga, his life reflects that. So he might not even have to go talk to the girls. They might be coming up to him. While you a little awkward around them, or you do things that like you just do little weird behavior that kind of push them away. Because you put yourself in a reality where you feel like you're not that nigga. So your life has to reflect that. So now you got to do awkward shit to push them away because you're not that nigga. Simple, but I hope it's making sense because that's really what it is, But one